Thanks, Sean. Just to echo Sean's words, it's great to see you here. It's one of the things that you often don't get to do as coaches because you're so tied up. Well, it's the end of 2 days of competition to start with. So the guys have been coaching. The last thing you probably want to do is to be here for another hour or so. You're tied up with your families, with your job, with your own environment, with just thinking about how the heck am I going to get a win on Friday night here. And you can diverge rather than get big. And all your thoughts should be about, there's something else out there that I can get better at, I can learn from, I'm going to listen to this person, that person. I would encourage you not to just to come to clinics, but to go to practice, go to each other's practice and take a friend with you. Because what you see and hear is not what the person sitting next to you is going to see and hear. And the most value is the time spent after that session talking to the people that watch it with you. You'll get more value out of that than what you'll get out of just listening to me. As I said, everything is different. A big part of this about shooting is everyone is different, and you can't have a single approach to anything in the game of basketball. You have to have an ability to provide some variety, to be able to coach this individual different than that one, what presses their buttons, what gets them going, how do they understand what I'm trying to tell them. As coaches, we actually want to work in reverse. We want to get everything down into nice little neat boxes, like little packages, and we say, okay, this is what dribbling is, and this is what shooting, and this is what passing is. Remember, it's not about us. It's not about how much knowledge we've got in our head, it's how much we can get out of our head into our player's head and have them understand what we want. That really is coaching when you encapsulate it. So I've been asked to do some stuff on shooting, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I want you, for those guys who've got a pad or a phone, I want you to write a question down, because at the end of this, I'm going to give you some time to ask questions. And invariably when I do that, everyone has, Tom Garlow and Renee, hey. Invariably, people won't ask a question. Either they'll think it's a silly one, there are no silly questions, or they just can't think of something on the spot. So I'm going to give you a minute to write it down. I'm going to come back to it in about an hour's time, and if you want to ask a question, bang, it's right there on your paper, fire it out, and we'll get these guys to show you exactly what it is. So 1 minute, go. Don't cheat off, Tom, Renee. Come on. It would be wrong anyway, so why bother? Okay, your minute's up. All right, I'm not here. Well, I'm here to help you, hopefully, with shooting. What I'm not here to do is to tell you how to coach, or you're all good coaches in your own right. You know what you're doing. You know about the game of basketball. The idea is to put the ball in the basket. Shooting is a part of that. You might like how I explain it. You might not. If not, well, at least you know what you don't like, and that's a big part of basketball. The game is so vast. There's so many things to it. Just the thing of shooting is so huge. You have to get an understanding of who you are and what you want to coach in the game. Don't try and coach it all, you'll never be able to do it. Don't try and copy someone else, because players will soon sniff out that this is not you, this is someone else, and they'll then realise that you're a fake. So coach the game the way you want it. There's no right and wrong ways. Shooting, there's some things that are probably more important than others, and that's okay. But it is a sport where we can do whatever the hell we want, really. And it's not going to be wrong. Okay, so I've got some notes written down for 2 reasons. One, if I don't write them down, I get off track really easily. And it's one of the things about hanging around the game so long, you get so many different thoughts in your mind, you will end up probably doing defensive slides. And the players don't want to do that. They want to shoot. The second reason is you should get in the habit of writing things down. And I know we're in an age where writing's kind of uncool and players don't actually know how to do it. It's important because you remember what you want to deliver. I thought I had a pretty good memory, and people say, oh yeah, you remember. Until my wife asked me to go to the supermarket, which is a really rare occurrence, and buy the grocery list for the week. I thought, yeah, cool. I used to tease her all the time about writing lists. And I got there and I came back and I'd missed something. I went down and I came back and I bought the wrong thing, had to go back. So after 3 trips to the supermarket, I said, look at this, I'm going to write stuff down from now on. So I write stuff down all the time now. And the good thing about it is it allows you to evaluate what you've done. It allows to see what you did 3 weeks ago that you thought you could remember, but you can't really. And then work out, what do I need to do next? So make sure you get in the habit of writing down your practice, even if you think you're really good. I just use little, what are those things called? Index cards. There's only about 10 lines on them, just so I have them in my pocket. I can pull them out. Oh yeah, I want to work on this and this. Oh, and banjo needs this. So it allows you to remember what you're going to emphasize above everything else. This session is not about having a magic drill that is suddenly going to make everyone great shooters. There are no magic drills, there is no magic dust. Hard work is a necessary component. Understanding what you want and getting it through to the players is the most important thing. What are you going to emphasize? So I got asked to do a shooting clinic probably 15 years ago in Perth, and we did 2-man shooting for an hour. Just emphasize different things. Turn it into shooting, turn it into catch and shoot, off the dribble, close out, box out, hand, communication. Basketball is yours. Work out what you want from it. Coach as hard as you can. You will get what you expect. If you don't write down what you want, if you don't tell the players what you expect, who knows what you're going to get back? So you've got to know what you expect. The players have to know what you expect, and hopefully they'll be able to deliver what you expect. You will get what you accept as well. So you accept bad play, if you accept bad effort, if you accept bad teammates, if you accept bad body language, if you accept missing shots, you'll get it. You'll get it right back. If you accept that, if you can't coach it, if you don't want to coach it, if you're not happy to coach it, well, you probably have a bad team. But what you won't do is get your players to a higher level. So be hard on them, be fair on them, treat them with respect, but you have to have a relationship where you can pull up and say, no, that's not right, this is how I'd like you to do it. No, they'll probably fight you on it, and maybe you'll learn something. You can't treat everyone exactly the same. What you can do is treat them with respect. Okay, so shooting. Got asked to do shooting. Shooting is the unique skill of basketball. So other than netball and korfball, and I'm open for anyone else to chip another sport. And I don't think there's another sport that shoots the ball like we do. So that is the, and in netball, I think there's only 2 guys on the team that do it. So what do the rest of the team do? Not much? No. I mean, they run around and that, but that's okay. But it is the unique skill in our sport. So it'd be like playing Australian rules football and not being able to kick it. You know, it's kind of tough. So it is a sport that needs to be taught. And I think most people do a lot of shooting. I don't know that a lot of people teach a lot of shooting. So your job is to work out, how do you want to teach shooting? I'll show you how I like to teach it, but I'm not you and you're not me. You don't have to copy me. You can do part of it or none of it or whatever else, but you must teach shooting because it is the unique skill of our sport. So if your players leave you and they haven't improved shooting-wise, then you're doing them a disservice and you're doing the sport a disservice. So work out however you want, get your players good at shooting. Shooting is the great equalizer. Shooting is the great equalizer. You can be less talented, you can definitely be less athletic if you can shoot the ball. And I was lucky, I coached at a school that shooting was highest priority. Can they shoot? If they can't shoot, we've got to make them shooters. And we could beat much more athletic teams because we could shoot. This is worth 3 and that's worth 2. Every time you run up and down, we'd go further ahead. Even though they'd score a lot, we'd score more. Now that's not saying that St Mary's doesn't like defence, because it does, but shooting is the key for that team. Okay. Nothing in basketball is in isolation. So if you're going to talk about shooting, I at least have to mention passing. Because other than the guy that dribbles the ball from there to there and pulls up and shoots a 3, and we all hate playing with that player, we have to pass the ball. So I would implore you in your shooting drills to make them passing drills as well, and be really demanding of players to be demanding of himself to deliver the ball in a usable fashion. So just because he catches it doesn't mean it's a good pass or a successful pass. Can I catch it and use it? Which means catch and shoot, catch and pass, catch and drive. So passing, I guess a lot of people say, to be a great shooting team, you've got to be a great passing team, but you've got to coach that thing as well. Because as soon as you say, I'm going to do a shooting drill, the players will go, yes, shooting drill. And they forget about the rebounding and the passing bit. And it's all tied in together. You can't be good at one and not be good at the other. Okay, so make sure you get your passing incorporated in your shooting. Shooting, like basketball, it's a complex skill. There's a lot that goes into shooting. Talk about footwork and about catching the ball and wrinkles in your wrists and follow through. And our job is to simplify it. And generally, as coaches, we're trying to impress our players by how much knowledge we've got. I'm really smart. I'm much smarter than you, so you better listen to me, and I'll prove it, because I'm going to say all these big words that you've never heard of before. That's not good coaching. Our job is to simplify it. What do you want to understand? What do you want to hear? What works for you? May not work for you, may not work for you, could work for you. And just because it worked last year doesn't mean it's going to work this year. Find ways to get through to your players by simplifying your messages, like language. Try and put it into simple terms. Don't try and impress your players. Okay, I didn't realise this, didn't set out this way, but when I started writing down my thoughts of the game, I found everything came in threes. Occasionally a four, and even rarer a two, but threes. Everything was in threes. Why is that? Well, probably because I'm not smart enough to remember anything more than anything that happens after three. And I'm thinking, well, if I'm not, my players might be, they might not be, but I'm not going to go any further than that. So everything I do is in threes. And the first three things about shooting, and these are all on different, these are the starting level. What do you need to be a good shooter? Belief. You need self-belief, self-confidence, whatever you want to call it. You need belief to be a good shooter. You need to believe you're going to be able to shoot it. Now, it's like putting and all the fine motor skills. You have to have genuine self-belief. Now, that can go too far at times, and as coaches, I'm sure we've all experienced that. The guy that believes he can make the behind-the-back shot from the half-court line. But you have to have genuine self-belief. As coaches, we have to instill that in our players. And the second thing is rhythm. Third thing is balance. And they're all on this level here, this more about the mind, more about the feel, making myself feel, I feel like I can shoot it, it looks comfortable, I enjoy it, it doesn't look like it's painful to me. And again, you have to, you can't drill it into people, like belief, you can't drill that into someone, you have to get them to believe that they're actually good. So run up and say, oh, you're great, you can shoot any shot you want. Probably not going to work, because they're going to end up taking bad shots that miss, and then they feel worse about themselves. Genuine self-belief doesn't really matter what personality you are. And you see across the sport, heaps of different personalities. You got the kid that's kind of shy, just stand in the corner, won't say anything, won't answer a question, won't ask a question, like Clint Steindl. That's how Clint was when we first got him. He's a great shooter. He's a phenomenal shooter. You could go the opposite way and say, Steph Curry is very self-confident, very out there, happy to talk, he wants to be on TV, he wants to have his daughter there, all those things. He's a different personality to Clint. You could have the angry guy. He can be a good shooter, just because he's going to work so hard, he's going to get there. You can have the guy that rolls in, has a belief that you've only got 100,000 shots in your lifetime, and so I'm not going to waste any by practicing and take them all in games. Those guys can be good shooters. You have to work out what personality you are talking to, because the message you deliver and the way you deliver it and what you say is going to be somewhat determined by the personality of the player. So personality doesn't mean are going to be a good shooter or a bad shooter. It could be across anything. So some simple things about shooting. The first one is keep it simple, and we've covered that a little bit. As coaches, our job is to simplify things, keep the action simple. And I know you probably see guys on TV shooting free throws where they wrap it around and do this, and there's a guy that used to kiss the ball, and the less movement, the better. Keep it really simple. You don't want things falling off. By that I mean you don't want this going here, or thumbs going all over the place, or a leg being kicked out forwards. I always explain to players, it's like riding a bicycle downhill. The thing you don't want is pieces falling off your bike. And you're tearing down the hill up here in French's Forest, and you think, oh geez, the pedal's falling off. No, that's not good. You go, hey, the chain's gone. That's not good either. I think the front wheel is going to fall off. And I see some shooters, that's what it looks like. I think, ooh, what else is going to happen in that shot? Keep your shot simple. Keep your action minimal. So less movement's always better. And don't recruit parts of your body that aren't meant to be in the shot. And by that I would say you go to any gym when the under 10s are on and they're trying to shoot threes, they'll be recruiting parts of their body that are worse for the shot than better. This across here. Don't recruit. So when you're watching and it doesn't look right, find out which muscle group they're working. You work out whether it's good for the shot or bad for the shot. Likelihood it's going to be, if it looks bad, it's probably going to be bad. The best way to make a bad shooter is confuse them. The best way to confuse someone is tell them things they don't understand. The one above that is having 10 people tell them things they don't understand. Now they're totally confused. Okay, so keep your language short. If you have a person that's struggling with shooting, the worst thing for them is having mum and auntie and grandfather and school coach and club coach and rep coach and state coach and whoever else talking to them. Try and narrow it down. And players, this is on you too. As players, if you're having trouble with shooting, just pick someone that you really trust and go to them. Other people will offer their advice out of goodness, the goodness of their heart. They want to make you better, but it's actually hurting you. Find someone that you really trust, spend time with them, spend time listening to them, acknowledge other people, thank them, and then try and block it out. If you want to create a bad shooter, confuse them. Don't overcoach, so keep it simple. Keep the language consistent. So if you do have multiple coaches as a player, and you've got something you like, you might want to tell all your coaches, just tell me this. Hey, tell me if my elbow's up. There's 1,000 ways to explain shooting. So don't rely on the coaches having to coach all the time. Eventually you've got to coach yourself. You have to participate in your own rescue. What does that mean?
You have to help yourself.
You've got to help yourself. Yeah, so if there's a lifeboat there and you're drowning, you've got to try and climb in the bloody thing, don't you? Don't wait for them to reach out. Go to the lifeboat and climb in it. Don't wait for coaches to continue to try and help you. And don't make the players rely on you. Now, I just got a little side note here. There's a real industry in the USA of workout guys, and there could be one evolving here too, I don't know. I'm not against workout guys, but it is an industry. It's a way to make money for them. So they'll have all these coaching, and it's often shooting, have all these coaching aids and all these fancy terminologies. And I think, oh wow, that guy must be good because he impresses me. Coaches are not meant to impress you, they're meant to improve you. So if you go to one of those guys, just be a little wary. Is he in this for me or is he in it for him? And it is a huge industry in the United States. Especially with ex-players that didn't do the right thing, dropped out of school or didn't get their degree, now they're searching for jobs, their career's over. Okay, well I'll put 1,000 cones out there and I'm going to make you do all these crazy shooting drills, but he's not actually teaching me anything, but he's taking $100 an hour. Okay? Be wary. Everyone's different, we explain that, don't explain the same thing. Body mechanics. Can't expect everyone to shoot the same, not everyone's bodies are the same. So you get the guy, we had a kid at St Mary's, Garrett Jackson. I think he actually played here in Sydney for a while, didn't he? Big Garrett. Anyone remember him? I think he was a fill-in player for someone that got hurt. Well, his shoulders were this wide, so he had this thought that he had to get his elbow under the ball. So it used to look something like this. So the ball was sitting way out here because he was told in high school, you've got to have your elbow under the ball. But yeah, now you might have got told that when he looked like you, but he's older now and he's bigger and wider and he still had this thought, you might have to pull your shoulder, you might have to change your feet a little bit differently. You've got to shoot differently than, say, what Delhi used to shoot. Would I pick him? Ooh, that's not a great looking shot, is it? But it goes in. Works, he's got great self-belief, he's good. He's in the NBA, he makes 50 million, I don't, so what do I know? But my point is, those two people shoot very differently. Body mechanics make it differently. Growth, and I'm guessing most people here are coaching juniors. Yep. So your kids are growing. They go finish basketball on the 1st of December and 5'9", then they go on a holiday and they have no practice. They get to sleep in a lot. They get to eat a lot. They go to the beach. They get a lot of sun, and suddenly they come back in January and they're 6'2". First time they've seen the ring. They used to be looking at the ring at here, and now they're looking at it from here. All the angles and mechanics are different. So as a coach, you've got to make some adjustments as well. Especially with growth. And Vila, you may be able to talk more on this from the girls' side, but I generally coach boys. Things like angles, things like strength through growth periods. They lose strength. They definitely lose energy. They can't come and practice as hard for as long. So when you get to your shooting drills, which are used at the end of practice, which is another bugbear of mine, that's only because the torture I had as a player from different coaches that said, oh, if you're really good boys and practice hard, we'll do shooting at the end. Well, I couldn't think of anything. I was half dead. I couldn't understand what they were trying to tell me with the mechanics. I did the shooting, but I wasn't improving because it wasn't in a coachable moment. I mean, if you're going to teach a motor skill, like a fine motor skill, you've got to teach it while they're fresh. You can challenge it later and put it at the end of practice after suicides and stuff, because that's what happens in games. But if you want to acquire skill, you have to be ready to learn. And part of that is, am I fresh and ready to learn? And as I said, through the growth periods, it might be, and this guy's just not going to get better yet because he's exhausted because he's growing an inch a day. And as coaches, we have to take that on board. Okay? Biggest thing on skill acquisition is, can the player feel what you are saying? And this is not just shooting, this is across everything. Can they feel what you're saying? So a simple thing would be on defense, get your butt down, bend your knees. I am bending my knees, coach. No, you're not. Well, they think they are, but you want them down here. Can you feel that? So don't take this the wrong way, but pain is a great teacher. Pain is a great teacher. And I don't mean pain as in like you're at school, and Tommy was a little prick at school and he used to get the cane all the time. Was the cane in when you were at school, Tommy? No, it was probably gone for you, wasn't it? It was in when I was there, and they used to use pain to stop us behaving certain ways. I don't mean that. I mean, feeling pain allows you to know where your muscles are in relation to the rest of your body. So if we jump up here, don't need a ball. Players hate that when I say that, don't need a ball. Just stand around. So, sorry, what was your name?
Josh.
Josh usually shoots the ball and he has his fingers really close together. So we're going to make him spread his fingers as wide as he can till his knuckles turn purple. And he put his hands straight out and he's going to stand. Not going to let him touch, not going to let him drop. Just so that he gets the feeling what I mean by spread fingers. Spread fingers here, because he thinks spread fingers means this. So when he shoots it, he does that, which is obviously bad. So he's going to stand there until I ask him not to stand there any longer. Just so that he learns what spread is. So when I say, hey, spread your fingers, Josh, I don't have to come back and do this all the time. You can just do that. So you stand there for a minute. Pain is a great teacher. Don't be afraid to use it. Okay, second thing that's going to make, improve your shooting without doing any shooting. Shot selection. Shot selection will improve your shooting without doing any shooting. And I know it's kind of one of those topics about, should we tell people that's a good shot or a bad shot? Yes, you should. Yes, you should. They need to know. Now, everyone will have a different idea of what a good shot and a bad shot is. So take this for what you want. These are mine. Is it uncontested? Because the idea of offense in basketball is to get a great shot every possession. If you can get a great shot every possession, you've got a chance for it to go in. So the 4 things. Is it uncontested? And if it's not uncontested, it's probably a bad shot. Not necessarily, because there's some other protocol down a little bit later. If it's uncontested, there's a chance it's a good shot. Can I make 70%? And for you guys, 70 might be way too high, depending on the level you coach at. Stop moving. Just keep your fingers spread. Just sit there. It's okay. 70. Can I make 70% of this shot uncontested? So if I just came out here and the shot that I decided to take was running this way, shooting it, can I 7 out of 10? And if you can do that, okay, well that's another tick in the box. That's a good shot for you. May not be for Clancy, because he can't do that. Josh can, you can't. That's okay. Going back to our first thing, do I have balance and rhythm? If you have balance and rhythm, it's uncontested and it's 70%, there's a good chance it's a good shot. And the last thing would be time and score. What's the scoreboard telling us? This might be a good shot in this phase of the game, but maybe not a good shot in that phase of the game. You're doing a great job. I should have picked someone else. Can you feel it yet? Yeah. Okay. All right. You can sit down. So Josh will never collapse his hand again when he shoots the ball. Maybe not. But the idea is, going back here, is they have to feel what you're saying. They can't just hear, they have to feel it. They have to feel what you're talking about with your feet, with your hand, where your elbow is, where's my eyes looking, where are my hands on defense, where am I boxing it. Otherwise you're coaching that brick wall there. It's not going to change, because the brick wall can't feel what you're asking it to do. Shot selection, what is it, Clance?
Taking a good shot.
Well, I know what that is, but what are the 4 things for me? Maybe not for your coach, but for me. So if you're playing for me, and I say our shot selection's bad, what's that telling you? There's one of 4 things. Is it, come on, Dylan. Uncontested. Is it uncontested? If it is, good, yep. Second thing, can I make,
Shot 7 times okay.
yeah, 70% of shots in a drill, like uncontested, yep. As I said, for you guys, 70 may be way too high. You might be saying, can that kid make 40%? If it's 40%, that's fine too. Just very. Next thing, what are the next 2 things? Really important in shooting. They were the part of the first 3 steps. Anyone, quick? Balance and rhythm. See how the girls just kill these sort of things. Boys, it's terrible. Balance and rhythm. Yeah. Am I on balance and am I in rhythm? And what was the last one?
Time and score.
Time and score. So if you're good with shot selection, and don't be afraid of it, because lots of people say, oh, you can't coach shot selection because it will affect their what?
Confidence.
Belief, yeah, confidence, which is the number one thing. The number one thing is shooting. Are they confident? No, it won't. Because if they take good shots, what's going to happen? They're going to make more. They're going to get more confident. They're going to get more confident. So coach shot selection, coach it how you like it. That's just how I like it. Make it up as you go. Okay, next group of 3 things, and these aren't in my 3 throughs, but shoot swishes. Teach your players to shoot swishes. Don't leave anything to chance. Anything that hits the ring might come out. Shoot swishes. Be demanding of your players, to be demanding of themselves, to shoot swishes. Shooting machine. When you catch the ball and you're in charge of it and you're taking the responsibility to shoot it, you have to flick into this machine-like mode. It has to be the same as I shot yesterday and the same I'm going to shoot tomorrow. I'm a shooting machine. I catch it, I go from this soft focus where I'm trying to see the floor, see the game and understand what the clock's saying. Okay, I'm going to shoot it. Everything changes. Everything's different. You have to be really strong, ribs to hips here, so you stay on balance. You don't have your center of mass wobbling all over the place. It's got to be in here. You've got to be relaxed through the shoulders, and you've got to be machine-like in your arm action. But your mindset is, I'm a shooting machine, I'm an assassin. This has happened, it's going to happen today, it's going to happen tomorrow. If you let me open it again, I'm going to do it again to you. If you can continue just to do the one thing, you can get really good at it. So when you try and have 5 or 6 different actions, that's hard to be a shooter. But your mindset is, I'm a shooting machine. Shoot swishes, I'm a shooting machine, and it brings me on to wrist, and I should include shoulder here. Wrist, strength and flexibility. Really important in shooting. You guys are in a challenging situation to be great shooters because your world is about this. Yeah, what am I doing? I'm texting or doing Facebook or whatever it is. But you're all in here. And it's the opposite of how we want you as shooters. So your wrists are here, locked in, your thumbs are tight and sore, your back is rounded and your shoulders are like this. As a shooter, we want you all on the opposite thing. We had an Australian kid come to St Mary's, a good shooter, really good shooter, got worse as he sat at a computer all day, every day at college, because his shoulder started to here, and he couldn't lift the ball up, he couldn't even lift his head up to see the rim, to here. And once he did his upper thoracic release stuff, it was like, oh, now I can shoot the ball. I'm up and my chest is out, my shoulders are back. We live in a world where wrist and ankle strength and flexibility is getting worse. We don't ride bikes anymore, we don't jump fences, we don't climb trees, we don't throw bales of hay, we don't dig holes. All the things that are wrist and ankle strength, so important to the game. So important to the game. So whatever you do as coaches, encourage your kids to get out, dig a hole in the backyard. Jump over the neighbour's fence, climb a tree, do whatever. Get out and be active, other than the scripted active work that we give them. General life preparation helps you become a good basketball player. Yep. Shooting, this is a bad position to shoot the ball from, because invariably your thumb's going to come through. This is a good position. We've got kids in the NBA program that can't put their thumb there. It's here. And sometimes it's wrist strength, sometimes it's shoulder flexibility. Because when you do that, you've got to be able to move your shoulder. And they can't do that. So now they're shooting the ball and they're getting to here. Now they turn their body. So that's into the recruiting other parts of the body to get the desired result. And it's not what you want. So, I sound old, don't I, Lana? Yeah, okay. All right, what else we got? Shot preparation. Again, mindset first. Everything's about the mind. Shooting is about the mind. Belief is shot preparation, hunt shots. So if the ball's on the other side of the floor, you should know it's coming over here soon. So you should be ready to shoot it. And you should have the mindset, I'm going to hunt this shot out, I'm going to get behind my man's head, or I'm going to run in front of him, I'm going to cut across his face, but I'm going to find a way to get a shot. Standing over here, while the ball's up there, going like, oh, it's not my game anymore, you're not going to be ready to shoot it. You might at this level, hopefully not. Probably were last year at under 16s, definitely at club level. But once you go up levels, the time and space you have to execute your shot diminishes, because the athletes are bigger, they're more athletic, and they're smarter. So the gap closes, and you catch it. By the time you catch it, you're probably sitting over here going, gee, I wish that guy had passed me the ball. And then suddenly he does, but you're not ready to do anything with it. So you've got to hunt shots. Your body posture is important. You need to activate your glutes. They're down here. I'm getting ready to shoot it. So I'm not standing up here like this. Body posture is important. Sit just like you do all your squats and everything else in the gym. You do it for a reason. It's to shoot. And everything's about shooting. So body posture, hunt shots, shoot through your glutes would be something to say. Hands, big fingers. Again, hands, mobile phones, it's about small fingers. Basketball, it's about big fingers. Show your hands to the ball, big fingers, 10 of them, pointing to the roof, here. So now I'm ready to shoot it. Butts out, ready to, knees bent. Footwork we'll get to later. But if you're not hunting shots, you don't have good posture, your hands aren't ready, your feet, and without going into footwork, ready to shoot, and that's different for different people. I have some thoughts about it, but I'm not telling you which way to shoot. But your feet have to be ready, because what are your feet going to give you? Players, quick. Nope. You get power from the biggest muscles in your body, which would be your glutes. It's something to do with balance. What goes with balance? Come on, just tell him. Balance and, what was it? Rhythm? Yeah, perfect. So girls again. That's so good. I wish I coached girls. Balance and rhythm. So your feet are going to give you balance and rhythm. If your feet are dead, I know you guys don't do this, but I'll pick on some of that. When you guys go to the nightclubs, you all guys look young, how do you dance? Stand like this? Or you dance with your feet? Of course you dance with your feet. It's rhythm. It's rhythm. It's why the South Americans are such good shooters, because they get brought up dancing. Dancing in an emotional, passionate way. So when they get on the floor, that's all they're doing. They're just moving around everywhere, catch, gone, shot, done, over. Ginobili trots off back down the other end. Feet have to be ready. I'll get on to footwork in a minute, but feet are ready. Remember, shooting speed is about your feet. And as I said, as you go up levels, the time where you can catch and get rid of it gets shorter and shorter. The thing that most players do is start to change from here up. They start to change their upper body. So rather than have a nice catch, lift, stretch, snap, whatever word you want to say, it becomes catch, oh Christ, here he comes. Definitely miss it. You can speed your feet up, you can speed your shot up. So we would work on about 0.7 seconds as the time we'd want our guys to be able to catch it and get rid of it. Okay? So that's about the time you have. Let's say Steph Curry's about 0.5, his angle of his knee is about 115, he's got all these different, in the end you don't need any of that. You just need to be able to get your shot off without altering your arm and hand. Why? What does your arm and hand do for the shot? Yeah, it's going to make it go straight, isn't it? So that leads me right into my next three things in shooting. Get it straight. What gets it straight? Yeah, follow through, arm and hand. It's simple, isn't it? Shooting is so damn easy. So easy. Get it straight, which is all about your arm action. We've just spoken about that. Get it up, because there's only 3 planes you're working in. Get it straight, get it up. So what's going to get it up? Big muscles are going to lift, aren't they? When you lift heavy objects, you use it. So legs and glutes, get it up, get it long. What gets it long? Oh, come on, you can do it. What is it? Feet, yes. Get it straight, get it up, get it long. Hands, arm, get it straight. Legs and glutes, get it up. Feet help get it long. What invariably happens when a player misses a shot? They slow down their rhythm. So now they're shooting in a different rhythm than one they've practiced in. So if you see a player miss a shot, you don't want to go, yeah. They need to stick with the same rhythm. And players that have good self-belief can ride through those misses. They might have missed 2 or 3 in a row, but they don't change their rhythm. Now I'd say Shane Heal's shot is different than Andrew Gazer's shot. But the one consistent thing is that they missed one, probably means the next one's going to go in their mind. I mean, Hammer might miss 50 in a row. Actually, probably wouldn't, but the next one's going to go in his mind. His rhythm is the same, his jump is the same, his follow through is the same. It's all the same. That's the self-belief you need to be a shooter of that caliber. So what are the 3 things? You're still worried about your hands, aren't you? Yeah, I'm tired now. It's got too hard. Yep, quick. 3 things. Get it. No, they're so far behind. That was what? That was like half hour ago, wasn't it? 3 things. Get it. Straight. Yeah, there we go. One for the male race. Get it.
Long?
No, you've got to get them in order. That's there, but it's wrong order. Get it up. Get it long. Good. Nice and simple. Okay, now how do you do that? You can coach, and I'm sure I know everyone's getting bored here. What's one thing you say when you coach shooting? Anything?
Use your feet.
Use your feet, yep.
Knees bent.
Knees bent.
Hand on the ball.
Hand on the ball.
Keep in rhythm.
In rhythm, cookie jar, yeah, I've heard you say that. Arc, yeah. Gooseneck, get your hand in the cookie. None of them are wrong. What my explanation is, what do you guys think when you get told those things? What picture do you have in your mind when you hear put your hand in the cookie jar? Yeah, you actually think about the cookie, don't you? Yeah. Oh, a big double chopped chip. Oh, I forgot about shooting. It might not work here, but it really might work for you. I know exactly what that is because I can remember when I was 3 and I could see those cookies up there and I can remember I got to 3.5 and I could actually reach. Oh, so that works for you. Don't work for you because your mum used to put the cookies down the bottom. Yep. As silly as it sounds, that is how it is. Get their minds right, and we spend all this time getting their bodies right. If their minds aren't right, their bodies, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Get players' minds right, and when I say right, get them ready to learn. Find ways so they can absorb as much information as you can give them. So I was working with a 15-year-old girl for a while, none of that language worked. Eventually it just got down to she could picture butt down, ball up. Butt down, ball up. Okay, that worked. I'd never used it before. I was digging deep into my bag of tricks. That was the one that worked. Butt down, ball up. So I'd talk to her every couple of days. Okay, butt down, ball up. Yep, no problem. Butt down, I'm going to drive through my glutes. Shoot. I don't say it, but it's the same thing. Shoot through your glutes, lift your elbow, follow through, ball up. That's all she needed was to change from being an average free throw shooter to a good free throw shooter. Okay, next group of 3. Feet, focus and follow through. Probably in the flipped order of importance, but it's in the order of what happens chronologically. Feet, again, we can have the debate of am I a 2-beat stopper or am I a jump stop? Irrelevant, so long as it is consistent, so long as it looks rhythmical and it's quick. So I see a lot of people coaching little kids to come to a 2-foot stop, dribble, 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 and they stop because you've told them to stop. So they actually stop. So all that momentum they get off the dribble stops, and you can actually feel the pain going up through here. It gets to the back of the head. It looks awkward. I would say that's not the right thing for that person. And if you want to really push them on, I would say high fast twitch fibre guys and girls, 2-foot stop's probably okay. Guys who can jump, can drive here, and can get straight into their shot. More ankle jumpers than knee jumpers. I think that's where I make the decision, but again, you guys might be different. Other than that, I'm about rhythm, catch it, into your shot. We've got heaps of stuff. But feet, get your feet organised, get them in the air. I would say be able to pivot off both feet so you can play off both feet. But feet, focus. Your hands can only do what your eyes tell them to. Yeah, hand-eye coordination. So if you're not looking at the rim, if you're looking up there somewhere, or you're worried about the closeout guy, or you're late in your focus to the rim, and I see a lot of people shoot free throws and they dribble the ball and they're probably thinking about it in their mind, but the ball's being lifted and their eyes are being lifted at the same time. Or the jump hooks, slide, jump hook, and now I'm trying to find the rim. If your eyes are moving, the rim's still, it's the same as if the rim's moving, your eyes are still. You're shooting at a moving target. You need to get an early focus so you can gather all that information, how far it is, who's running at me hard. You get it all in there early and get your shot away. So focus is an important thing. I'm a proponent for back of the rim. Some guys like front of the rim, but I think most people shoot short. So I'd say, well, if you shoot short, why would you look at the front of the rim? And it's not the rim, it's a laser spot on the rim. It was a thing about the soft focus of all this action that's going on. No, mum's up there, baby's crying, people on the floor. And when I catch it, I've got to find that spot on the rim. So focus is important because it tells your hands what to do. So feet, focus and follow through. We've already covered follow through. Why do we follow through? Nope. What is it?
Straight.
Straight. Gets it straight. Follow through gets it straight. So there's not a lot of science in this. It's pretty simple. Get it straight. Get it. Up. Yeah. Get it. Well, nice and easy. Follow through, you can say high release, full extension, whatever you want. It's got to be consistent. Lionel, you had a good one, starting a V, finish an I, and I like that. Hadn't heard that before. A strong snap. The stronger the snap, the better the backspin, the more the ball will feel like it's floating and sitting and nestling in the net. You can tell the difference between a hard shooter and a soft shooter. You want to be high and soft, whether you're off the glass or whether it's straight through the rim. It doesn't want to be a hard shots that miss tend to bounce outside the keyway. And you can pick little things like that to think, well, where am I at with that? High and soft. Thumb out, we spoke about this, making sure this thumb's here and make sure it's not back. So when you go to release, you're not whipping your thumb through here. Making sure this thumb doesn't interfere either. And then index finger, maybe a little bit of middle, but index finger is the last thing that points. I like to have them follow through with their thumb staying out. So it starts out, finishes out. Little finger probably, some guys will crunch it, some guys will get to here and they'll break their fingers like this. They'll shoot it there. Not huge on having to get right over, but I am huge on starting with a big hand, finishing with a big hand. Okay, so that's the base of the technique. Then as a coach, you've got to say, okay, what am I going to coach here? The three types of shot, catch and shoot, where you just feet are set, maybe a little bit of movement, but you basically just catch and rise up. On the run, so it might be you're sprinting out of the corner on a middle ball screen, you're the lift guy. It could be baseline penetration, you're running to the corner. It could be on the run in transition, you catch it. So your ability to catch and shoot, ability to catch and shoot on the run, and the ability to shoot off the dribble. So taking it off the dribble, catch, shot fake, drive, use a ball screen maybe, drive hard, pull up in the mid-range. So 3 different types of shots. So as you're going through your shooting is not just one thing, there's bunches of stuff in it. And then there's areas of shooting. Obviously paint, mid-range, threes. Again, three things in the paint. Can I score on the rim? And it's one of the things I look for when I come to these sort of tournaments is who can get their fingers on the rim. Like get by their man, get by the help and shoot a layup. Or does he always shoot floaters? I have to ask myself, why does he shoot floaters? Probably because he's not a good enough athlete to get on the rim. Now that may be unfair because a lot of guys think the floater is a pretty cool thing to do. It's a good shot, one you need to have, but one you need to use when you need to use it, not when you don't need to use it. Fingers on the rim. Can I score on the rim? Can I score through contact? Like here comes the help, contact, stretch away from it. So can I score on the rim? Can I score through contact? Can I score over the help? And that's the floater. I mean, floater, runner, whatever you want to call it. Teardrop, 1 foot, 2 feet. So 3 ways to score in the paint. Out in the mid-range here, it's catch and attack. So attack and pull up. It's attack and like a lateral, like a separation, either a step back or a sideways dribble, or pull back and re-attack. So there's 3 different types of mid-range drills to do. And then the 3 on the perimeter are more just back to, can I catch and shoot it? Can I shoot on the run? Can I shoot off the dribble? So when would you shoot a 3 off the dribble? Yeah, transition, perfect. I dribble up, open. I can do this 70% of the time. It's uncontested, yep. I feel like I'm in pretty good rhythm. I'm balanced, score on time, saying this is a good shot. Dribble up, 3. Good shot, no problem. Yeah, when else would you shoot a 3 off the dribble? You're going to guess. Yeah. I'm going to my money.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you got?
On ball and they go under.
Perfect. On ball and they go under. So if you're going to be an on-ball screen user and they go underneath it, you've got to be able to stop, pull up and shoot it. You can play for me anytime you want. Okay, so as you're planning your shooting sessions, don't just write shooting. Get a little bit more specific. That's what I'm saying. There's three different types of shots. There's 3 different areas of shots. Get a mix of what you got. If you don't write it down, you won't remember what type of shooting you did 3 weeks ago. Simple as that. Keep a log. Josh really good at catch and shoot. Not so good at pulling up off the dribble. Probably won't let him do that in the game yet, but we're going to work on it with him so that by week 6 of the roster, hey, I really want you to try this one today, because he's ready for it. If he's not ready for it, don't throw it. He's going to fail. And what's the most important thing about shooting? Belief. So if he's failing at something, he's not going to believe. So you've got to have great self-belief. Just a couple other thoughts here, and this one's maybe a little bit against what most people think. I have my players, as soon as they come in the gym, is take 10 threes. Take 10 threes. I mean, I know most people say don't do that, go in there and start practicing your technique. But the realism of it is they've been sitting on the bench for 15 minutes, I call them in, going, and their first touch is here and they're wide open, they've got to be able to make that. They don't get any more chances at practice to shoot cold than when they walk straight in. Because the rest of practice are warm and they're into it. They have to be good at shooting that shot. Have to be good at shooting that shot. So while I know it's a little unconventional, that's why I do it. I don't say you have to do it. You come in, you take your 10 threes, then you work yourself back in there, and you follow through, and then your ankles and your knees and you rip all the rest of it. Do not have drills that start with a make. Do not have drills that start, go in and shoot 5, 5 and 5, start with a make here. Because what's that doing, Clancy? That's saying it's okay to miss. And it is not okay to miss, is it? You have to be able to make that first one. And it drives me nuts. Every new guy that comes in does the same thing. All these shooting numbers are false because they all start with a make. Doesn't happen in games. Don't be a great sets shooter, like you miss your first, miss your second, then you make 15 in a row. Because in the game you don't get that 15. You get the first one, and that's it. So no start with a make. If you're shooting like sets of 5 or 7 or 10, the 2 most important shots are your first one and your last one. Make sure you make your first, make sure you make your last. What happens in the middle happens. Hopefully it gets better as time goes on. But make yourself make your first one, make yourself make the last one. At times we'll even say, okay, if you miss your first, you're done. Someone else is going to come in. You don't get to shoot the next 25 shots. It puts a little bit of pressure on them. Competitive shooting drills, there is a place for recreational shooting. You just come in and just get some shots up and have some fun. Really good place to learn about your players. Shoot free throws or jumpers, you talk to them about a bunch of other stuff. Could be about school, could be about what's going on at home, could be about the girlfriend, the cat got run over, whatever. Whatever's going on, you've got to find out some stuff. In the middle of practice, really hard to find that stuff out. If you can loosen them up by doing some recreational shooting, they'll start to talk a little bit more to you. But it's not, to me, it doesn't transfer to the game. Okay, so competitive drills, time and score, shots in a row, shoot until you miss, all those sort of good things, add them into your drills to just put a little bit more spice into it, a little bit more pressure, because shooting is about pressure. Can you absorb the pressure? Contested shooting drills, which goes against what I first said is we want all great shots. Now that would be really good if we coached the other team too. We said, hey, hang on, for the blue team, make sure the white team, you don't play any more defense. But someone else coaches the other team and they're coaching to try and contest your shots. So you have to be able to make contested shots. Not all contested shots are bad shots because there is the time and score component to it. And that comes into the end of a shot clock. Hey, you might have to make a shot with a guy with his hand in your face. You're not going to make them if you haven't practiced making them. So being able to do some drills where there is contested shooting within the drill. Yep. And free throws. Practice free throws. Practice free throws. And I know not all games at this age group, the teams are even, but you've got to prepare for when the teams are kind of even. Athletic, experience, skill. In those games, and this is done on the college level, 80% of games are won or lost by 6 points. And I can guarantee you most games you miss 6 free throws. So that's the difference between a loss and a win. If you make layups, again, I don't think we practice layups enough, contested layups, but if you make layups, if you make free throws, and you box out, you'll be in a position to win every game you ever play. If you make layups, so you've got to practice them. If you make free throws and you box out, you'll be in a position to win every game you ever play. Because at the end of the game, as a coach said, "God, we just didn't shoot it quite well enough." That probably means we missed 6 layups, or we missed some free throws. Or the other thing, they just got that offensive rhythm. Now, there's some other things, turnover, but I think those 3 things, if you get really good at them, because they are 3 things you can control. You can control whether you make a layup. You might get blocked occasionally, but usually you miss layups because you lose concentration, you're more worried about the contact. There's no excuse for missing a free throw because there's no one else there. It's the same distance, same size, hoops the same, everything's the same all the time, so you shouldn't miss free throws, and there's no excuse for not boxing out. So if you do those 3 things really well, I think you're in a chance to win pretty much every game you play. Okay, I've nearly exhausted myself here. Shooting build-up. So we're going to get you guys on. Let's get one. Well, what size balls we got? Right size? Yeah. So one guy, one girl come out. We're going to do a very quick shooting build-up. Remember, shooting is a skill, but it's a huge skill. It's a macro skill. There's some micro pieces to it, so you need to be able to break it down. So these guys already come in. They've already got up their 10 threes. You've gone 10 from 13, which is fantastic. You've gone 10 from 11, which is unbelievably good. We've done that. We're going to come back to the block here. Now, we're going to get through this really quickly, and you're going to start on the block, and we're going to break the skill of shooting down, and you're going to start just by shooting off the glass. Clance. We're going to break it right down, so we're just going to go to the last 6 inches of your shot. So the ball's going to start here, it's going to finish there. There's going to be no ankle, no knees, no hips, no dip, no nothing. We're getting rid of all your rhythm. Your balance should be okay because we're not asking you to move anywhere, and we're just working on that. You'll follow through. Now, if you think the block is too far and you want to come a little closer, you can do that, and you're going to do the same here. It's got to be a swish, and it's got to be a bank shot. Okay, ready? Not bad, yeah, shoot 'em up. Good. So start it high, just shoot it up through. Start it right high. Got to be a swish. You only need 3 swishes to win. There's 1. Nope. Start high, there's 2. Not bad. Oop, I think that's a small one, is it? Last one. So you see Clancy's going straight to, this is uncomfortable, it doesn't feel right. I want you to actually start here, like stop everything. You're actually pulling from here, Clancy, and you're going straight into a normal shot. So we're just working on this, 6 inches, from here to there. That's all we're doing. Getting really good at that. You don't have to do that on the basket. You can do that at home, you can do it while watching TV. My wife gets embarrassed because I walk around the shopping mall doing this. She goes, "That one go in?" No, of course it did. Yes, it went in. Do it all, it's just a habit. You just get used to that habit. It can make you a good shooter because it's muscle memory. You don't have to come to a basketball court to practice shooting. Okay, let's head up the lane a bit. So go up to the second hash mark here. Okay, do the same thing, so the last 6 inches, but now you're going to add your ankles to it. From here, up, ankles. Don't have to shoot off the glass, but it must be a swish. Must be a swish. Take the rhythm out, stop. Take the rhythm out of it, so it's not lifting, it's starting here, just ankles, wrist, ankles, wrist. Good, so a little sneaky knee bend over here, but not terrible. Good, that's it. Shoot it long. Okay, what are we practicing here? Get it straight, yeah, just straight. Get it straight. That's what we're doing here. So get it straight here. What are we on? Quick. How many made?
One.
One, come on, swishes. Got to be swishes. Get it straight. There you go, there's one. There's a good one. Good, not bad. Shift up the lane to the next hash. Yep. Now you're going to start down, no feet in it from here. So you're shooting foot forward. It's going to start down here. You'll lift up and shoot it. So everything's in a line. Toes point at the rim. Don't have to be. In fact, I actually don't like this. I think it's too hard to get your shoulder. I like a little bit of a turn and definitely heel toe here. Knees flex. You're going to start there and just rise up and shoot it. Stop. So Clancy got the ball here. Remember, you need a starting. So Clancy's got the ball here to start. Where should it be? Yeah, so this V here. So right in here. So tucked in, arm probably parallel with the floor, but fingers definitely to the roof here, not down here. Because this is just an extra movement. Extra movement is another chance to make a mistake. So we all work with photocopiers, yeah? Yep. The worst machine in the world ever, yeah? Because they break down all the time. When you open them up, they've got lots of little parts to them. If you just went to the old print press and went, done, that's good, have that. It used to smell really good too, that purple methylated spirit. Blah, love it. Minimize your movement. This is just an extra one. And I see this wrist flipping around. Get it set, break it early, here. So here, lift, shot, done. That's it, no more than that. Let's go, quick. Yeah, you can jump on it. You can jump, quick, go. Good, perfect. Okay, up to the elbow now. So add in your foot. So now we're starting to try and build a little bit of rhythm, and it's not way back here, front knees bent. About heel toe is good. It's a short step. Drive that toe into the ground to get your body weight back onto this foot here. From here, so this is all the same. Step, lift, shot. Shots. Got to be swishes. Stop. Habit is this. Here. A short action, know where your start point is. So this is your start point, and your start point comes from hunting out shots. This is my posture, this is my start point. If you don't start in the right position, will you finish in the right position? Who knows? Maybe you will, probably you won't. And that's not just with shooting, that's with everything. Defensive transition is important because it puts you in the right spots to start your next defensive segment. Ball screen defense, you better start in the right spot. If you don't, there's no chance you're going to finish. Offense, if you don't start in the right spot, you're not going to finish in the right spot. Driving to Melbourne, if you don't know where you're going to finish in the wrong spot. Shooting is exactly the same. Where's your start point? Because we know what the finish is, don't we? This. High and soft, fingers in the cookie jar, lock and snap, whatever you want to call it. Ready? Go. Good. Not bad. Swishes, come on. Let's go, swish. Got to have swishes. Hey, we might need a couple of rebounders out here. Quick. Good. Hup. A couple means two. That's right, go, quick. Yeah, so not even the big wind-up, Clance. So not even this. So it's just a short one. It's short step. Yep. Be sure to hear that runner squeak. Drive in, good. Not bad, good. Okay, step it back to halfway between the 3-point line here. Both right-handers, so you're going to go right, left, right in that rhythm. Right, left, right. Right, left, right. Yep. So you end up here, which is what you've just done, into that.
So
yep.
No bounce.
No bounce. Don't worry about the travel. It's about the rhythm of right, left, right. Ready? Go. Stop, come back. That's left. This is right. Yep. So you're going to step with it. Don't worry about the travel. Step here, then 1, 2. Foot speed, rhythm. Ready? Step, 1, 2. That was wrong, wasn't it? Yeah, I thought so. Got it, Clance? Yeah, swishes. Come on, go have swishes. Right, left, right. There you go. Good. Quick. Good. Shift it back out to the 3. You're going to do exactly the same, but you're going to spin it out. So as you spin it out, you've got to get your hips under the ball. So when you catch it off the spin, you're back in your starting position. Spin it out, catch it. So now you're catching it right, left, right. Ready? Spin it, catch it. Good. So catch it now on your left foot. So when you catch it, you're on the left. So spin, right foot. No, other way. That's all right. So spin it, right. That's it, good. So you should be stop. Ooh, stop means stop. Now we've got to imagine the ball's in the air and everything. So you should be catching it. So you spun it, you stepped onto your right, you're catching it about here, about there. So now all you got to do is put that right foot down, lift it and shoot it. Okay, get the timing of this right. Good, spin, catch, right, left. Now attack it, really attack it. Right, left, right. Spin. Yeah, even harder. You've got to rip that trail foot in, go, quick. Spin, right, left, right, good, not bad. Okay, from the same distance, you're going to do the same thing off a dribble. So dribble onto your right foot, ball's in the air, left to right, but you're not trying to go anywhere, you're just like here to here. And it's about foot speed, pop the ball on the floor hard so it gets back up in your pocket quick, and your feet are turning over as quick as they can go. Ready? Go. 1, 2. Not bad. Good. Switches, let's go, quick. Good. Next one. Spin. Okay, I'm getting really picky here. So Clance is starting, but he doesn't really know where he's starting because the ball's sort of here and he'll get it and he'll roll it over here. So start it down here, here, right down here, and when you push it out, I should hit it pop hard. Go, ready? Go. 1, good. There you go, that's better. Good, good swishes. Need swishes. Right, left, right, good. Okay, stop there. So, now we're going to go back to the elbows, back to the elbow, and you're going to start with your right foot down, you're going to start with your left foot down. So this is like the end of shooting on the run, and it's down, chin's on your inside shoulder so you can see this much to the floor. See, a lot of players will play straight. Like you see them come off a ball screen, they look like this. And they can see mama, great, here, catch that. You've got to look at the hoop. So you're coming off this dribble, chin on your inside shoulder, that shoulder's down, just like you ride a bike to school. Yep. So you ride your bike and you go around the corner and you do this. This is exactly the same. Around the corner, here, rise up and shoot it. Okay, so your right foot down, your left foot down. Down, front knee bent, and you're going to rip this trail foot through, so ball starts in here, rip it through, drive up and shoot it. Ready? Go. So you should hear that big squeak of your shoes. Ready? Good. There you go. Swishes. Not bad. Okay, back it out to beyond the red line there. Spin it out. Same drill. Spin it out. Sink your hips under the ball. Shoulder, get your chin on it. Hands ready to catch it. Right, left, right. Okay, and dig that right foot in the floor, dig your left foot in. Good. Not bad. Very good. And last one, replace the spin out with the dribble. Exactly the same. Dribble. Go back. Don't turn it over. Here, hand on top, pop in the floor. 1, 2, good. Swishes, need swishes. Get it straight, get it up, get it long. Last one. Finish on a swish. Oh, finish on a swish. Who's got it? There you go, of course. Okay, come and sit down. Good job. Go, run. Okay, so that's how I would teach shooting. Now, obviously, there's some other pieces to it, and we'd spend more time. We'd flip both sides and that. Before we get to your questions, I have a question for you. What is coaching? And no wrong answers here, but you need to ask yourself this question. If you're going to coach, you've got to ask, what is coaching? What is coaching? Players, you don't have to answer it. Coaches have to answer it. So you are coaching. Like if you have a job and your boss comes in and say, what do you do? I hope you can tell him or her. Because if not, probably get fired. What's coaching? They said no right or wrong answers.
Roadmap to make
Yeah. So have a plan to make your players successful and make your team successful. Great. Then you work off that. Good. There's one. Yep. One more. Yeah, huge one. Relationships, huge one. Part of the plan. The plan's like the base thing. And you've added. So for me, coaching is, can I identify a problem and fix it, whether it's team or individual? And can I identify when things are going well and encourage it? Now, most coaches coach to the negative. They always think about, I'm looking for problems and I'm going to fix them. That is part of it, but you must see what's going well and encourage players to do that, and then put players in the positions for them to be successful where they are right now in their career, so that they can move forward with great self-belief or confidence. No, confidence is good. I'll let you do that. You've got everything else right, that's fine. It's the biggest part of coaching. Allowing to be successful and generating more confidence. I might change my stuff. I'll go with you. Confidence. So, doesn't have to be that for you, but that's it. That's where I start. Then I go through all the other things for shooting, dribbling, whatever else. Okay, over to you guys. Questions? Anything?
Your role in St Mary's, was that as the interpreter for the Aussies?
Partly, yes. Interesting, yes. California is about as close to Australia as you could get in everything, but the language still was interesting. Americans tend to not be able to change to us, so we always find ways to have them understand what we're trying to say. But not my whole role, but certainly part of it. Yep. Thomas, I've been waiting for this question. And if it's a bad one, I've got stuff on you. So,
I'm sure you do.
little bikes,
Has there been much change
mini bikes.
quantity of shots per week?
From when you were there.
It was 3,000 or thereabouts.
Yep,
500,
it
3,000.
probably went to more structure, as in we went every morning. Basically, shot every morning. We got rid of. Oh, you might have already done it by the time you were there. We got rid of all weights in the morning. Just didn't think it was effective for young guys to have to get up and do complex skills, and I thought it put them in a position to be injured. Like, if you're not lifting weights when your body's ready to lift it. I'm always concerned about backs, like long, young bodies. Backs are a concern for me. So we flipped weights out and put shoot. So we'd shoot Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday for at least an hour. Guys that could stay longer, stayed longer. But so the quantity probably went up a little. I think the supervision was the thing that went through the roof. We could do way more coaching. So player X might be over on a side basket working specifically on what he wanted. We had a thing called do we have a shooting license when you were there? You had to get a shooting license to avoid, if you wanted to, the technique side of it early. You could just go and do it. Also meant you could shoot pull-up threes in transition in a game. But there was a way to get your shooting license, and it was just a fun kind of thing, but it led to people want to shoot more because they want to get a license because they want to crank them up in transition. So to answer your question, yeah, we probably shot a little bit more, but we definitely did a better job of the coaching side of it.
What if you've got a kid that doesn't want to change?
Doesn't want to change. You have to trick them. Find a way to trick them, really, and then eventually show them the change is good. But that's not an unusual question. Either they don't want to, or they're not capable of. And I always make a distinction between, you say, oh, you've got to be coachable as a player. Yeah, we want you to be coachable, but to keep moving up level, you have to be changeable too. So we have some really coachable kids that can't change because they can't feel what they're doing. Then we have some uncoachables that don't want to be coached and want to shoot it their way. Butting heads is probably not going to work. Maybe when I came through, because the coach was all and everything and you just did what he said. But these days, that's not how the world operates. You have to find a way. which is why I said just saying what works for Josh may not work for Clancy, and find something that resonates with them in their mind about what the change is. You've probably got to explain why the change needs to be made. I mean, kids ask the how and why more than they used to. They just used to do. This is why we think the change is good. This is what we think the result's going to be. This is how we're going to do it. And it's going to. And you have to give them the information they don't want to hear, and that is you'll go worse before you get better. You're going to go backwards during the change. That's just how it is.
Marty, just one quick example. Emman's outstanding point guard.
Yep.
But he starts his shot from here, and it's a big thing holding it.
He actually starts it from here. He winds it up,
It's just like
and he gets to there, and then shoots it.
such
Yeah.
a great pure point guard, but he's
Partly because he had knee injury. He couldn't. It hurt to shoot. So this knee was sore, and so he'd get all his weight on the left foot, which is what you don't want. But he made some compensation. He is actually a very good shooter. He doesn't shoot it. He's not confident. Doesn't have the self-belief to shoot it in the NBL. Like his sophomore year before he got hurt, through until January, which is November, December, January, it was like 3 months in, so 3/4 of the way through the season, he was shooting 71% from the three. And then he hurt his knee. But he didn't take many. Emmett's big thing is he doesn't take many, so he doesn't take bad ones. So the ones he takes, good chance to go in. I agree with you. I think he needs to shoot more, and I've had that conversation with him, even though I don't coach him, and I don't like to coach my former players because they're not my responsibility, and they don't want to hear all that noise. But I'd sit and watch games on TV and said, Emmett, you've got to shoot that one. And so I did the wrong thing and called him, Emmett, shoot the ball. I should have called Bevo and said, I'm telling him this, because Bevo would have said exactly the same thing. He's on I probably can't say that. He's on a bonus system for shooting. I'd love that. Which coach, who is going to pay me to shoot more? I'll kick the thing in the ring. But yeah, he's got some mechanical issues. Wouldn't say he's the prettiest shooter. He can really shoot.
Marty, with the prevalence of pick and roll, is there anything that you teach differently now with shooting that just...
Yes. Shooting off the road. No, I talked about, and I probably skimmed over it about like footwork, left, right. When you get comfortable, the next stage of that is wrong foot shooting. And we started doing this with Delhi on his floaters, simply because the defense was waiting for him to take one more step to shoot that little thing. And he's not the best athlete you've ever seen. So to get it off quicker, he'd shoot one off his right foot quick, and it's just gone before the... So transferring that into pick and roll play, normally you'd come off this if they go underneath it. This one here, so you'd been able to drive off it, and that's right left. And I was fairly heavy right, but I knew that if you were coming the other way, you had to go off the other foot. So it's in there, so I thought, well, let's just expand it. Let's just keep playing around with it. So that would be one example where clearly the pick and roll thing is I've got to have the ability just to rise up off my right foot. So right, left, rise up and shoot. And the guy that does it well is Jason Gadi. He taught me a lot about pick and roll. He didn't even know what he's doing. He's one of those guys that he's very good at it. Didn't really, but the chin on the inside shoulder, you watch where his eyes are looking when he's in pick and roll. It's all about what's coming behind. And the Delhi's the same. So Jace could do that, and Delhi with his floater, but it's not conventional starting point, and I wouldn't jump straight into that. I'd say try and get good at this and then start branching out. Players hate that. They want to go straight to the really hard things. But again, they can't do them, so they don't get any confidence, so they end up going backwards and they go and play rugby. And that's what we don't want. We want them to stay with basketball.
Do you do any drills for, like, a lot of kids are going to be flat-footed, not going to be able to do that very well? We were just talking, do you do anything to get...
Balance. Yeah, do heaps of balance, proprioceptive drills, hopping, jumping. Best drill in the world, skipping. Just get a skipping rope and skip. You don't need fancy ladders. They're nice if you have it, but there's lines everywhere so you can jump over them. Build your house so at the end of the hallway you've got to be able to go around to get into the kitchen. Just simple things like that. It only costs you a couple $100,000, but will make your kids really good at footwork. Okay, and I know the guys at St Mary's used to always bagged my kids about I'd make them do that, make them run down the thing and duck around the corner. It was perfect corridor into the kitchen, through the kitchen, then step off your left foot, you're back in the lounge room. But it's about lifestyle, teaching them to do that all the time. Practicing changing direction. Now, how many times you shoot in a game? 8? Yeah, 8. You take like 10,000 shots a week. How many times you change direction in a game? How many? Well, give me a number. 200 probably? At least 200. How many times you practice changing direction? So I grew up without a TV, so I used to read books a little bit, but not big books, because anyway, there's a reason for that. But I read about a guy called Les Foote, who apparently, probably a story, he was an AFL player, used to get up the top of Burke Street and run through the mall and just tear ass down as fast as he could. So that's a pretty good idea. So I used to get at the bus stop at Catley Street in my school blazer with a tie and shoes, and I would run as fast as I can down Wilson Street to practice getting in and out of people. People think I was crazy, they get out of the way. You can do that if you want, probably a little bit more dangerous these days, but you have to practice change of direction. You have to do it, because you're going to do it 200 or 300 times in a game. That's as important as anything else. You won't get this shot if you can't come down here and plant and change direction and rip up. You won't get the shot. We'll practice the shot, but you'll never get it because your footwork's not right at the front end of it. I'm not sure what was the question? Oh, the flat foot question, yeah. So, yes, but it's more about what you do off the floor than specifically on the floor. So I keep saying, you can practice so many things about basketball without ever coming to a basketball court. You can do that in the backyard. If you've got the big tile squares in the kitchen, great for hopping to this one, out of that one, falls. Yep. I know you think I'm crazy, but you have to be curious and find ways of how can I get better. And don't just wait till you see a hoop, because the game's not just about that.
How do you get your players to practice foul shots? Because they just don't walk in and shoot foul shots. Do you get them to?
We have numbers that they've got to shoot, numbers of shots. We also put it into practice. So like for a drink break, we might put 2 minutes on the clock. You've got to make 3 in a row. If it takes you 1 minute and 6 seconds, you've got the rest of the time to go and get your drink and be back on the floor. Really good for team camaraderie, because the guys will start saying, hey, there's someone's down there and he's struggling, let's get our drink, go down there, get him going, get him back. Clock expires and he makes it. It's simple things. Just have a look at your training plan and where does a couple of free throws sit. But yeah, we do have numbers. We have a huge advantage because we have them every day. But I do believe it's a hugely under-practiced part of the game.
I have a few athletes that have a valgus deformity in their elbow. So as they extend out, their elbow will go out laterally. Yeah.
That one?
Yeah.
Yep.
Even to more of an extent.
Yeah.
I was wondering if there's like any studies that hasn't affected.
I wouldn't know if there's any.
As they extend, it goes out.
Yeah, I don't know if there's studies done. I'd say you're going to have to compensate. So, if this is going that way, something else is going to have to come back the other way. So it's a poor answer, but in the long run, I don't think there's much you're going to do with their shooting technique. If they have a body issue, you've got to try and coach around it. And I know you've seen the kid at Florida. Is he still at Florida? Kid with one arm. Show him that video. So if this kid can make, and he can ding shots. What's his name? A high school, incredible high school player. Hasn't been good at college. He doesn't play. He's literally got that and this, and so he holds the ball and it's off quick. Ridiculously good. You should, just YouTube that, and is that the right word? YouTube? Yep. Okay. YouTube that and show your kids if they're saying this is why I can't shoot. That kid can shoot. So, got nothing better for you than that. Sorry. It's an auction. We got any more? I thought I saw another hand shoot up over there somewhere. Come on, Renee, give me something. Anything else, Lano? Nope. Well, as I said, hopefully you've got something. If you can go away with one thing, that's great. If not, you've probably learned something not to do, and that's good too. Again, thanks for your attendance. Thanks for your enthusiasm when you go back to your clubs and your state coaching and all those places. Remember, the game is in your hands. And everyone says, oh, I know such and such. If it's not done well down here, it can't be done well up here. I'm the fortunate one, and Vili obviously is too, that we get to work with your products. And the better job you do, the easier our job is. But never underestimate how we perceive you guys as coaches. So, thank you.